This is an old can of drywall mud left over from when we did the house. It's been frozen, it's been sitting in the weather. It kind of smells bad, so we're not going to be using that. I just got 15 sheets of drywall, so I got a lot of work that I can do. I put up some more lights, take this one down and put up the rest of the ones in the ceiling that's already done. Okay, so I've got the ceiling done. I got to put up a couple more lights. I went ahead and put these lights up, so let's see what they look like. Wow, in the daytime they just look like bright spots. At night they look nice. They light up the room with a nice warm light. So now I'm going to the wall. So again, doing it by myself, I'm putting a block on the wall to set my sheet of drywall onto. I'm putting a block on the side that you can see it splits the middle of this board, so I can just bump against it and I'll be in the middle of the board, so that I'll be on the middle of the board on the next one and the next one. Such a tight space too. Gotta keep moving stuff out of the way, I got these other two lights put in, the rest of the ceiling. Where are they? There they are. And then in only seconds, I have put in lots of sheets of drywall. You can see a space back there that still needs to be done. And a little, over here where I haven't moved stuff out of the way yet. A little bit of wood trim around the breaker box so that I can figure out how to drywall around that. I think I'm gonna put a little wood trim around it and then bump the drywall to the trim. I was talking about this T-square in the last video for cutting drywall. You can just use your razor knife and just cut right down the edge of the metal. Something else it's good for, when you're doing your outlets, you can use it to draw straight lines for your outlets when you measure out how far over they are. I can just slide, if I brace it at the top, I can just slide this over and get a straight line drawn. Now it's kind of swinging, but if I guide it with my hand up at the top and slide it over, I can draw a straight line in this direction just by putting my marker up against wherever I want on the measurements of the edge. Just using my hand up here to slide it while I'm holding my marker at the bottom. And then if I know that I'm this far from the edge over there, I can just obviously draw my lines down the straight edge. 4 screws on each stud as it's going down. Our freezer today, so I want to use this hand truck, but it's the wheel is completely off the rim, needs air, so I'm going to use my little trick. I've done it before. Put a rope around this and I'm going to try to squeeze it so it'll kind of seat up on the bead better while I'm putting air in it. You could use a cargo strap. I'm just using this piece of rope because I've got it handy and I don't have a cargo strap close by, but I think I'm just gonna try doing it by hand. See if I can just tighten this rope up. See if we can do a tourniquet. Okay, so now I'm twisting this to really squeeze that tire. This is also how you would do a tourniquet if you got cut and an artery was cut. So now it's seated. Actually, it's already filled up pretty tight. I'll tighten it just a little bit more. That's good. Okay, that went a little more difficult than the last time I did one, but not bad. Another nice thing to know is that these air compressors take a lot of power. And to know that I can just plug it into my wall in my workshop shows that I'm getting a good amount of electricity coming out here. So it didn't pop a breaker or anything. So I'm really happy about that. This is boring too. All over the side of the freezer. Now we need to just get this thing open and defrosting. This one's not frost free. The one that we just put in the office is frost free, so we're keeping that one. This little chest freezer and this little freezer are finding new homes. Now that we have the big freezer, we don't need these anymore. But the one that we just took inside, we'll use it for our freeze dryers and just for some in-the-house food storage. These birds are on such high alert, the guinea hens. It's hard to get the camera on them. So every chance I get, I like to take a good look at them. They're beautiful, all those little patterned spots. Of course, their faces are a little odd, but I don't know. I guess their mom would say they're beautiful. Every day we fill up the burning boiler. It's above average size load. I was just cleaning off all this creosote on the bottom. There's a bunch of it on the sides. I'll do it some other time. It drips like stalactites from the ceiling. I hung that little tarp over the doorway to keep water from getting in the door. We've had a lot of problems with water. There's going to be a roof over this later, so, and the door's not installed like a exterior of a house. You got this ripply metal, but right now I'm going inside to take apart this shelf and get it out of the way. Later, when the ceiling gets, the roof gets put over the container, then, you know, we'll have shade on this side where the wall is here. This side will still get sunlight, but right now both get sunlight pretty well. And this wall, where I know there's a lot of sunlight over here, I would call this 65 degrees, whereas the metal that the sun's shining directly on, I'd call this 80, 85 degrees. So this is gonna make a huge difference. I'm not putting insulation in here, but just the air gap is gonna make a big difference. That's the temperature difference in January. So imagine the summertime. Don't get me wrong, it'll still get hot in here, but it'll be slow to get hot. We have a visitor that comes in and sees us when we're working in here. What are you trying to tell me? Timmy fell in a mine shaft? So I put these 1-inch spacer blocks and then a catch block so I could just push the window right up against this block. That way it would be spaced 1 inch inside the room. And then when we put the drywall, we'll just have a little 1/2 inch reveal. But part of that is because I've only got a limited amount of space where the door closes. If the window's sticking out too far, the door's gonna bang into the frame. Of course, we're gonna clean this window. We got the drywall on it, and now we just need to put some siding on there so that whenever we open it, it'll still be weather resistant. And also, if we just don't feel like closing it for a while, it can just be weather resistant that way. I might put some insulation in this wall. I'm not sure yet. But this is going to be a great place to have a little desk. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to put a desk across here. That's why I have these outlets that are up high so that the desk will be down here and the outlet will be really easy to reach when you're at the desk. Instead of putting it all up underneath the table and making it difficult to crawl on your hands and knees to get connected. If we wash that window, it's really going to be nice. Some stuff you've made. Claire has all her resin out here for making things. Here she put some herbs in resin. Here she put together a lot of nice things. Flowers and blue rocks and some tiny pine cones, and I don't know what this is. Some kind of seed pod or something from a tree.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
That's...
This looks like an experiment. Oh, this one's nice. This one you can see the depth. It's got some sand down in the bottom. Here's a little dandelion.